Traders at Axis Bank say the 2037 bond paper has remained investors' favourite despite demand on the shorter end of the curve. Now, meanwhile, players have their fingers crossed on the results of the last week's retail SMIs auction and its impact on rates. Bosso Bembe, fixed income trader at Axis Bank, joins me now for more. Hello, Bosso. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, let's start off really now. It's the month of December. We are still within the first few days. How's the market responded so far during the highlights of Monday up until midweek and right now, the 2nd of December?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me, David. So, like you rightly said, we have a lot of demand on the 2037 paper. So, at the last auction, the 37 closed at 16.2. And the market, as we know, is driven by liquidity. So there were a lot of liquidity into the system this week. So we saw a lot of buying interest on that paper, which made the rate on that paper to go as low as the 16, 15 levels. On the short end too, we saw a lot of interest from counterparties but we have few supply. But what we've seen today, we've seen a lot of supply of the short-end paper in the market. So on the money market, like I mentioned, what has driven the market is the liquidity that came into the system. There was some refund by the federal government to some states, so that boosted the liquidity in the system. And this week there was no significant funding activities, and most participants were actually trying to avoid the usual CRR debit of today, which that already happened. So most of the liquidity that we saw this week has been taken. Some of them have been taken out through the CRR debit that happened today. And today is the settlement day of the Sukuk. So about 100 billion, I believe, in the system. We've been seeing rate at a single digit, 9.5. But today, the rate will go to the double digit on the money market space. On the FX, there was a retail auction last week. As we know, the high-end market the major supplier has been the Central Bank of Nigeria. So we expect the result of the last week retail auction to come out today at the auction. So we expect the spot at the market to probably close higher at 469, 470.
And now, with the forecast as well, investors are looking for where to put their money. Everyone wants a haven. Now, we're also seeing that the 2029 and 2035 bonds are not necessarily having a whole lot of demand as much as that of the 2037. Now, in terms of where investors will likely put their money next, we're seeing investors' concentration on the short end of the curve, looking at the bond market, and with the Treasury bills market, it's a bigger concentration or shift towards the mid to longer end of the curve, mainly the long end of the curve. What do you see playing out next in the coming days?
So in the coming week, we are expecting the bond calendar for December to come out. The demand that we are having, like I said, is liquidity driven. Next week, there will be an NTB auction. About 54 billion will be rolled over by the DMO. So at the last auction, the rate closed on the longer, it closed at 14.84. So given the amount of offer at the next auction, we expect rate to actually come down on the NTB. We expect that people will start to actually look at the short end on the NTB space, given that and yesterday too we got the first quarter NTB calendar, and what we have on offer for the remaining of the year is about 137 billion. So I think we'll have rate on the NTB space coming down, so people will just play on the short term, probably put the money on maybe money market or buy short term, so that by the time we get to next year, when we have a lot of bills on offer, they will be able to take advantage of the higher rate. So for next week, I think the rate at the auction will close lower than what we saw at the last auction.
And talking about the NAFEX and I&E window as well, we've seen quite a similar trading pattern of the Naira. The parallel market, however, has seen some high ups and some low lows as well, and a bit of moderation here and there. Do you think we would have any surprises with the currency market?
On the currency market, I think the CBN will continue to actually play a major role in the FX market that it has always done. Next week, there will be another auction where CBN has been sending at least close to $500 to $600 million monthly. So next week will not be an exception. There will be another auction, and on the high space. What we've been seeing, given the improvement that we've seen in the yield, and given the CBN stance that's actually narrowing the gap in the real return. So we'll maybe by next year, when we have a lot of maybe portfolio reallocation by most of these foreign investors, we'll start to see interest, and which will actually lead to us having more flows through the foreign portfolio side. So, but I think for now, the focus will be the most of the flows will come from the exporter, like the Houthi 200 that the CBN launched. So that's where we'll be seeing a lot of fund coming in, and CBN playing the role of actually defending the naira, which they've done quite well.